We're here to talk about today is muscle sparing or quad sparing total knee replacements. And so it's really kind of important to understand some of the anatomy, understand what's the difference. So a classic knee replacement, when you do it, you're going to cut around the tendon here. But what happens is at the bottom part here, you come up around the tendon, but then as you get up to the top, you have a decision to make, and most people make the decision where they'll actually cut into this tendon up on this way vertically. And that allows you to move the kneecap out of the way so you can access the joint. Now, you say, well, why would you do that? Well, that's the classic way we're all taught how to do knee replacement. You have really good exposure with it, and it can be done very, very well and efficiently that way. However, when you cut into the tendon or into muscle, you know that that's going to hurt a little bit. And so that's going to maybe slow down the recovery and show that, hey, you know what? And my patients that have had that, classically, they're happy with it, but they're always kind of talking about the discomfort right here around their kneecap. So one other way to look at this is that you could do an additional way is to actually go into the muscle, which is certainly done by several surgeons. Not my personal preference. As you cut into muscle, as it sounds, it's even more painful. And then there's actually a way that you actually go underneath the muscle. So what you do is you actually come up the same pathway, but instead of cutting into the tendon or into the muscle, you actually slide underneath the muscle, and that's called a subvastus approach. Okay? That's where you're actually sparing this quadriceps tendon and sparing the muscle. So you just go underneath it and then elevate and move it over across. And once you've done that, you actually haven't violated this mechanism, and so it's a lot less painful because the nerve endings in here are not as sensitive as they are into the muscle. So over on this side. So if you can spare that and you not actually have to cut into that, that I believe makes a lot faster recovery. Patients are a lot happier, and even patients have done one side to the other. They definitely tell me, hey, this one's a little bit easier than the last one that I even had. And even with our great results we've had, I think this is the next level.